Friday morning musing and confusing talk with Justin, who always educates me on building homes and what I should and shouldn't do. Thank you for doing this, Justin from Elevation Homes. I appreciate it.
Morning, sir. How are you doing? It's never a problem. I've gotten accustomed to these Friday morning things now, and it's almost become routine.
Yeah, it's almost, I'm that annoying guy who calls you at 9 o'clock at night, right? Hey, you didn't fix this, but we get to do it through video chat, right?
Yeah,
we've never gone down that road. I'm sure you've got some great stories there too, right?
Oh my God,
that 11 p.m. call about something.
Oh yeah, 100. I don't want to get into it, but yeah, I had one recently, and I mean, we could do a whole damn show over it. And it was only at 11 o'clock at night. It was the only time I heard from them, right?
That educational component to teaching your customers not to call. When it says you're done at 5, you're done at 5. Leave the guy alone, man. He's got a family. I once had a real estate agent tell me I was looking to change homes. And she said to me, there's always another home around the corner. And then that she meant that you don't have to go and spend. You know, don't get caught in that wheel. Kind of look for what you want. Now, I know like in Waterford on Angling Road, the house you're just finishing up there, when you built that, did you do that specifically like for a family? How do you go about that? How's the metrics behind that?
Well, it's interesting because every time that I choose a flip or a new build or I mean, even as well as customer jobs, we always go through this kind of avatar scenario where we try to come up with, and I'll ask my guys, and you know we'll ask even the locals. I mean, if we're building a brand new site, I mean usually I try to get a hold of the neighbors almost immediately before we even dig the ground, because I'm trying to figure out, you know, what is the atmosphere here, what should this house be, and who should it be for. I mean, obviously I'm not going to, you know, well, I'm not, unless I'm, you know, dictated to, but I'm not going to build a super modern skyscraper looking type home right beside 3 century homes kind of thing. I mean, it just wouldn't fit. Not only would it not fit its environment, but, you know, chances are the locals don't want to see, you know, Las Vegas outside their front door. And more than likely, the buyer who is buying that place is not moving to that location to live in that sort of cityscape in Norfolk or wherever it might be. So we actually go through a bit of a list. You know, myself and project manager, I ask the boys, I ask the neighbors, you know, bring my wife, you know, I mean, any input that's like, okay, look at this piece of land, look at this house, and what should it be? And we generally can come up with what the future buyers or family would be, and then we start designing and building around that, right?
Is there a short list of things that you that over the years you've went, oh, make that closet bigger? Like, is there things that you know that people are going to go, that they go to? What are the go-tos that they want to see?
Yeah, that's a good question, and because it's we have actually developed that, and it's like we get complaints on open houses from other investments and whatnot, and you know, immediately it's like, okay, let's fix those complaints. So I mean, yes, the master bedroom stuff is usually a pretty big hitting point. You know, sizes of things, not even necessarily the size of the room, but the closets for one, the ensuite bathroom that's attached to it. That's, you know, we've made a mistake on that one of not making that big enough. You know, what we thought was big was not big, because, you know, the design style nowadays is, you know, a lot of freestanding tubs and oversized showers, and I mean, you gotta have some room to do this stuff for it all to have that aesthetic you're looking for, right? The other big one is you know, number of bedrooms. It hits me every time. It's like there's not enough bedrooms, or they're not big enough, and that's a fine balance, because at Angling we chose to go to a 3-bed with some more rooming downstairs and then in the basement as well, because we have a half height basement, rather than going to 4, because, we wanted to have some luxurious space upstairs. We didn't want to have 4 10-by-10 bedrooms, which, we could have easily done. So yeah, bigger linen closets, more upstairs storage. I mean, everything's just bigger, but less of it.
Does that apply to, I mean, obviously it seems people get into these trends where, I have to have a kitchen island. You know what I mean? Like, is it things like that too, that you're sort of like, I suppose in your business, you've got to be aware of what's coming and what people are looking for constantly, right?
Yeah, no, we go to, well, I shouldn't say I go to, I spend a good portion of the fall and the winter, and I go to all the trade shows, both here and in Canada and the US, I'm sorry. And I just try to see, okay, like, what should I be doing, or at least close. I am a former, designer, and both interiors and architecturally. And I don't follow it like I used to, because it's not directly related. I mean, we build the stuff now, but we still want to do these designs and add stuff that is current. And yes, the 10-foot islands is a big deal. It's, if I don't put a 10-foot island, nobody's coming from anywhere to see anything.
Really?
Anymore. Oh yeah.
Wow.
It's that's the number one thing we do is, like, if it was a flip home, it's like, okay, we get rid of the galley kitchen wall. That's the absolute, and has to come out. And where that wall was, that's where we put these 8 to 10-foot islands. If we're doing it brand new, it's just a given. I mean, the kitchen table, or the dining table, I should say, is virtually eliminated. Like, almost nobody wants it. I mean, their odd traditional person will, older folk, they'll still want a formal dining room, which we have that space at Angling. We have a space that can be a formal dining, right, off the main living room. It can be the most amazing office you've ever had in your life, or it can be converted back into a bedroom, into a main floor bedroom, like, super easily, and it's direct access away from our main floor powder, so, which is handy. But but we decided to make that space flex, because we don't know what that use might be. But yeah, I mean, the island thing, certain kitchen components, it's like, you have to hit those marks every time. Maybe not the color, but design and functionality. I mean, if people won't, they just won't put up with no garbage pullouts anymore. It's like, well, where's the garbage pullouts? Like, well, we just did a regular cabinet. And they'll look at me like I'm insane. So I have to do the garbage pullouts.
It's just, it's changed probably so dramatically in the last 20 years as you've watched it evolve, right? That the homes have, I think too, a lot of people, like you said, the concept of bigger is better. They don't seem to want to have that smaller home anymore, do they? I shouldn't say that, but a mid-size home, really, because they're, the way everything works with families nowadays, you never know who's moving in or moving out, I guess.
No, exactly. And that's, and I'll get some downsizers. I'm designing one in Turkey Point right now. That's it's a huge downsize. I mean, you're talking about a customer that's going from a 35-acre with a place with 35-acre place, 3,700 square foot house, and a 60,000 square foot shop, are slimming down to 1,200 square feet with a barn in Turkey. So, I mean,
wow.
That's a huge downsize. But, get 67, 68 years old. I mean, I get it. But for the vast majority of the buyers that we would see, I mean, chances are they're my age, all the way up until their mid-50s, and the parents are moving in, or the sister's moving in, or so they want the flexibility to go there, which is what we've actually built into the last 3 properties purposely, is sometimes completely finished. In the case of Ranchdale, we built the full nanny suite right from the get-go. And Angling has the ability to have the same thing as well. Like, it's set up for it's roughed in, but could be 3 more bedrooms and a full-size bath down there, and a flex space. So although and again, a half height out of the ground, so you have natural light and all these things, so that if it's mom and dad going down there, they're not living in a dungeon. So, you know, we all these things we've set up, all these different scenarios that if this is a new family or established family that's coming in and they are, you know, in their 40s kind of thing, or early 50s, they're going to have these attachments that potentially are coming in. So we're trying to be ready for those.
It's quite the evolution for all of home building. Give me a quick update before I let you go on angling. It's almost done, isn't it? You guys must be ready to put that on the market almost.
Yeah. No, it is. Grass is cut, and you know, we got a couple of details outside. I was actually just submitting my remaining budget for that one, so I'll see how that email comes back. Yeah, no, you know, we just want to do a few things. I have a big landscape package for that place if somebody was interested, but I want to do enough that someone could take the reins on that if they didn't want to spend $100,000, right? So yeah, you know, just front pathway and you know, we're extend the driveways a little bit. You know, they're gravel. We're certainly not paving these ones at this point because they're massive. But yeah, you know, the kitchen's going in on Monday, which is, you know, we've been a little held up on. But other than that, yeah, I mean, we're painting and kitchen, and then you guys can come on in.
All right, excellent. Thanks for doing this today. Always fun to hang out and see what Justin's up to. Today we were just discussing, you know, the ins and outs, what people want to see in their homes when they go look at what bigger, you know, like we talked about the bigger closets and all that, bigger bathrooms, kitchen islands, but those are things to keep in mind. But thanks for taking the time. Try and have a good Friday. Have fun in Dover, okay?
Gonna try.